Good evening. Glad you could join me. It's Bill Boshears in the Scizone, WKRP-TV, I should say. Glad to have you aboard. News that's breaking all over the world, and for all of you watching tonight here, and for the millions of those of you watching on the internet live, thank you for joining me. We appreciate you being here more than you know. And in answering that, I have an email from Down Under. This comes from a listener and viewer in Australia. The power of the internet is unbelievable, and this tests to it. Dear Bill, watch your show religiously, find it more inspiring than any religious show I can find. God help you. You're in trouble, friend. Anyway, find it more inspiring than most religious programs I watch. However, I have a brother-in-law who is in the banking business, and I heard your show, and you mentioned derivatives. I warned him about these, having heard what you said, warned him about it. He looked at me like I had said something that insulted him. Would you please be so kind as to reiterate your impressions of them and why they are what they are? Needless to say, I doubt that it will help him or his bank, but at least it will shake him up to let him know that his brother-in-law does think outside his stupid bank box. We're in trouble like you Yanks are. Keep up the good work. We'll be watching. Can't beat that. Basically, all of this got started about 5 or 6 years ago. I started warning people about this so-called housing bubble. Well, the housing bubble was the tip of the iceberg. What was really floundering underneath of it was something that had happened back when Reagan was in office, and I will give that to you now. Up until that time, derivatives were illegal, but Ronald Reagan legalized them in 1982. Then Wendy Graham, Alan Greenspan, Rob Rubin, and Larry Summers teamed up to start the derivative bubble during the Clinton years. Now you can go back and read current events and see all this. Now there's $1.5 quadrillion. Quadrillion. That's more than I can put together. Derivatives strangling the world's economy. And it's not the subprime mortgage at all. There are reasons for that crisis today, and that's the part of it. Today's depression also comes from the privatization of Fannie Mae, which worked fine for 30 years, but the government, as a government agency, but then it was privatized and opened the door to the looting exercise, and well, everything else is well known. The answer to all of this is simply this, and I'll give this to you so that you understand. We could end this depression tonight. Stop it, dead in its tracks. And I'll give you reason and rhyme for it later on to show you how it can work. First of all, this would stop this depression. We've got to wipe out derivatives altogether. It's destroying the largest mass of fictitious capital that the world has ever known. It includes credit default swaps, mortgage-backed securities, structured investment vehicles, collateralized debt obligations, repo agreements, and other, they now call them toxic paper. We've got to outlaw hedge funds altogether, outlaw adjustable rate mortgages, stop all foreclosures right now, just stop them. Seize the bankrupt banks, brokerage houses, insurance companies, and put them through a debt ringer, Chapter 11, and turn them loose. The bankrupt proceedings, reestablish and the up-ticket rule against short sellers in the stock market, forbid it. Stop speculators, and I've been saying this for years. Stop speculators with position limits and margin requirements for oil and other energy markets. Stop it. And this is key. Stop exporting jobs to third world sweatshops under this phony NAFTA and GATT and World Trade Organizations. To my friends down under in Australia, thank you for that, for the question. Good question. I hope the answer, it doesn't sit well with a lot of people. Obviously it doesn't here, because they won't do that. They would rather chase after this toxic paper, and it is costing a bundle. Right now, times are really bad in this country, and as they may be in yours, I don't know. To give you some idea, Motorola has been downgraded to junk status by Standard & Poor's. Unbelievable. Hard times are around the corner. More people are running into hard times, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later on with some of their eating habits. The bank, there has been 500,000 jobs vanish as this economy deteriorates. 500,000 jobs, folks. Where's it going? Well, we got to make the other countries happy. We'll give them our jobs, and then we'll buy the products from them. Well, guess what? That dog's off the porch, and now China is saying, well, there's a slowdown, and it could set oil at $25 a barrel. Oh, really? Well, yeah, we need a lot of oil, but, you know, nobody's buying our stuff. We export it, and we give it to you guys, and nobody's buying our stuff. We've had a slowdown. We've had to lay people off. We've had to close a few of our sweatshops. London, oil fell below $42 a barrel on Friday, and it's headed down. This is the lowest since January 2005. After a gloomy report, the U.S. job losses, it just keeps on going. And you see, it's not about anything we can't control. Of all the people you've heard talk on TV, all the talking heads, none of them have explained to you what a derivative, where it came from, or anything about it. Oh, well, we don't want to talk about that. That would incite riots. Remember about a year ago I said, if you've got a bank that's got a lot of derivatives, you're in trouble? Well, it's here. It's not new, it's what it is. By the way, let me give you an idea, and we'll go to break here. Times are really hard. Times are really, really hard. I came across an article and something that I know what it is. I've eaten it. It's called Spam. If you don't know what it is, if you've never had it, get ready. There's another product called Treat. But Spam was during the war, and a lot of people eat it. It's not a bad product, and on hard times, Americans now are buying Spam again. We'll do a break and come right back after this, and I'll give you some pointers about cooking, not really cooking Spam, but using it, right here in the Scizone. Back in the Scizone, I'm Bill Boshears with you till 12 o'clock. The number 513-381-3838. From anywhere, anytime, we'd love to hear you from. And if you've got an opinion about what I'm about ready to tell you. And I'd like to hear how you would correct this. And here's what's going on. There is what they call a windfall profit tax being discussed right now. They're trying to add a tax to your retirement, simply another way of saying that the American people are so stupid that they're going to keep on until we drain every cent from you. What's the Speaker of the House ready to say? Here's what Nancy Pelosi. Now, I don't know where this woman came from. I don't know who appointed her, how the hell she got there. But somebody has got to send this lady home. She's got way too much time and way too stupid to be where she's at. Nancy Pelosi wants a windfall tax on retirement income. In other words, a tax what you have already invested toward your retirement. This woman is a nutcase. You're not going to believe this. Listen to this. Madam Speaker Pelosi wants to put a windfall profit tax, including the retirement fund, the 401k, and mutual funds. It's true, and it's all to help 12 million immigrants and other unemployed minorities. This woman is frightening. What do you think about this? 513-381-3838. Jump online. I want to hear from you. I'm quoting her. She says, we need to work toward a goal of equalizing income. Where have I heard that before? That was a Marx theory. What? Marx? In our country, and at the same time limit the amount the rich can invest. I'm not rich, are you? When asked how these new tax dollars would be spent, she replied, I quote, we need to raise the standard of living of our poor, unemployed, and minorities. For example, we have an estimated 12 million illegal immigrants in our country who need our help, along with millions of unemployed minorities. Yeah. The stock market windfall profit tax would go a long way to guarantee these people a standard of living that they would have as Americans. Now, if you read that quote again and let it sink in, lower your retirement, give it to others that have not worked as you have. Does that make sense to you? Nancy Pelosi, 513-381-3838. I don't know what else to tell you. I can tell you what Ms. Pelosi is doing, but I can also tell you that a friend of mine, Paul, sent it to me, as to what happens and where all of this got started. We keep hearing that we're bankrupt, and we are. There's a lot of problems with it. And then when you get into the facts of it that Paul sent me, you really don't need to be confused. Let me give you some ideas here. The following, there's 14 reasons. He sent me 14, and I checked them out, and they're legitimate, man. These things are dead on. Number one, 11 billion to 22 billion is spent on welfare to illegal aliens each year by the state governments. And I have the places to go check all this out. This isn't some fluke somebody made up. There's $2.2 billion a year spent on food assistance programs such as food stamps and WIC and free school lunches for illegal aliens. There's $2.5 billion a year spent on Medicaid and for illegal aliens alone. There's another $12 billion a year spent on primary and secondary school education, children here that don't speak a word of English. There's $17 billion a year is spent on education for American-born children of illegal aliens known as anchor babies. $3 million a day is spent incarcerating illegal aliens. 30% of the federal prison inmates are illegal aliens. $90 billion a year is spent on illegal aliens and welfare and social services by the American taxpayer. $200 billion in suppressed American wages caused by illegal aliens. The illegal aliens in the United States have a crime rate that's 2.5 times that of white non-illegal aliens. In particular, the children are going to make a huge additional crime problem in the U.S. During the year of 2005, there were 4 to 10 million illegal aliens that crossed the southern border. as many as 19,000 illegal aliens from tourist countries. Millions of pounds of drugs, cocaine, meth, heroin, marijuana crossed into the United States southern border. And you can verify that at Homeland Security site. The National Policy Institute estimates the total cost of mass deportation would be between 206 and 230 billion, on average cost between 41 and 46 billion annually over a 5-year period. In 2006, illegal aliens spent $45 billion in remittance to their country of origin. The dark side of illegal immigration: nearly 1 million sex crimes committed by illegal aliens in the United States. I don't know if we're stupid or what, but that seems to be a hell of a big hole we could plug up. And when we've got people like Nancy Pelosi trying to take the money out before we get it, to give it to these people, I think they've got a pretty good deal going myself, according to these numbers. And by the way, how do you feel about that? I mean, you're not going to get this on CBS, NBC, or any of the other talking stations. Did anybody see that whitewash job the other night on CNN? I've never heard such a plethora of Merta del Toro in my life. I know I didn't say that right, but that's close enough. Listen, we'll take a pause in the action if we can do that. Gentlemen, do you want that? Let's do a pause in the action. We'll come right back with you. Yes, I know I'm in a different studio. I'm on the 8th floor of the Block building, not the usual Flim building. Into that later. Come right back, will you? Don't stay out there long. Back in the Scizone, Bill Boshier is your host, and thank you for joining me, Jan, Jim, Charles, and all the other people, and those of you by television and the internet worldwide. Thank you. We're glad you're here and love to have you. I got an email from a friend. He said, "Are you in the Flim building?" No, we're in the Block building. That used to be, the Flim building is downtown. We're in the suburb, in the Plummet Mall, and we're in the Block building on the 8th floor. And the reason this set is different is because we're in the library of that megatropolis. I guess that works, doesn't it? Megatropolis, that's a word, isn't it? Yes. I guess we're uptown. Let's go to the phones and find out what you think tonight. That's very important. The number, when somebody hangs up, by the way, turn your televisions down so we'll get a chance to hear you, and you can hear me as soon as we get to it. Let's go to Jan first. Been there the longest. Jan, thank you.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead.
I have one question and an opinion.
Okay.
Why should we have to take and have whatever her name was, take taxes from the people that's retired? Well, they worked all their life to take and have that.
Well, I don't know who put her in place or why she's there, but it would serve well if Barack Obama would take her out now.
Well, they need to get rid of that.
Or whoever's going to be president. I'm not sure he's going to be president, but that's okay. That's just what I'm looking at and what I hear. Yeah. But I don't know. I do know she wants to tax all of your savings, all of your investments as a retirement investor, 401k or whatever it happens to be, that you're using as a retirement benefit for you. See, it never stops. It never. And by the way, she's been on this hunt for well over a year. She's been pounding this into the ground. Now, she's one of those bleeding heart liberals from California. She's got more money, as my granddaddy used to say, she's got enough money to burn up a wet mule. She is, she's a real girdleful, let me tell you that. Anyway, I appreciate you, Jan. Thank you so much.
Well, my opinion, too, on the immigrants,
yes?
To me, they need to ship them all back home and let us have what we're supposed to have here in the United States.
See, we've got to stop NAFTA and get along with that. That's a good idea, but getting the immigrants out of here, and this, as soon as we get George Bush out of office,
Yes.
I think a lot of that will slow up.
I hope so.
I appreciate it. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. Let's go to Jim. Jim, you're on the air, sir.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Bill?
Doing well, sir. Glad to have you aboard.
I'm so angry about the Medicare payments going to go up next year.
That's what I heard.
Yes, about $37. Could you believe that? They're giving us next year, the raise about $60-some. The half of it, of course, is going to go to that. And then, so what? I mean, every year now, I've been collecting Social Security only 2 years. It began with $78 something. Now, this year was 98 something. Now it's going to go up to $135.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on?
Well, we've got to keep our immigrants in the hospital. We've got to pay all that off, and we're running out of money is what it is, but we haven't found anybody with brains enough to figure that out. We'd rather give it away to car companies and people. This giveaway program is ridiculous, but we'll see how it holds up. Jim, I appreciate your call, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Good night.
Let's go to Charles. Charles, you're on the air. Thank you.
How you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right, sir. Glad to have you.
I like what you were saying about Ronald Reagan in the past, about the derivatives.
Yeah.
It made a lot of sense how you pull back in history and how it... I want to also bring another thing and reiterate about Ronald Reagan. Also with him and the immigrant problem that we're having right now, this is all stemming back to the drug trade. It all goes back to the drug trade and how terrorists are also being funneled here through the immigrants. So the people who wanted to vote for Bush or Reagan or Bush Sr., you people who voted for Bush Sr. and Ronald Reagan, and who also wanted NAFTA, which is causing the problems, the so-called free trade agreement we thought that was going to stimulate jobs, which is backfiring in our face.
Charles, let me say something. Since Ronald Reagan, we haven't had any leadership. Ronald Reagan was no leader. He was a doting old man, and
exactly.
He was not a leader. He didn't do anything
exactly.
leadership-wise.
The Iran-Contra scandal, which proves that, which makes your point even more evident. What you're saying.
See, but what we were doing at that time, we were still electing stars.
Exactly.
Oh,
good
we
point.
were electing stars.
Very good point.
We were electing people that weren't qualified for the job, but we liked them because they were a good actor.
I think what people liked about Ronald Reagan was his aggressiveness. He was very aggressive. That aggressiveness is what got him elected also.
Well,
and
his
what
aggressiveness...
they saw in Bush also the aggressiveness that they thought they could have gotten out of Reagan, that they would have gotten out of Reagan, which made Bush president for 2 terms and then stole the presidency from Gore the second time. But the point I want to get back up as far as the immigrants are concerned, you made some pretty good points. And I don't know if you know what's going on up in Hamilton, where there are a very good amount of illegals up. We were having a fire arson problem up there. There are many terrorists going around in Hamilton. I don't know if you were looking at the news lately, but they're having it's a catastrophe up there in Hamilton where people are starting houses on fire, and they're looking for arsonists up there. These immigrants are causing the E. coli. The immigrants work up in the fields, and they're alleged on Inside Edition. Some were alleged also to causing the vegetables.
Charles, do you have access to the internet?
Yes, I can get access to that.
Please get on the internet and go to a site called Rense, RENSE.com. What you're talking about is there in spades. And
Great.
It's all documented, and you can see everything that you're talking about. I was looking at it today. It's perfect. It's perfect for what you're saying. Go look at it. I appreciate it, Charles. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's take a pause in the action. Is that where we are? Let's do that. We'll take a pause in the action. Be right back. It's too cold to go anywhere. Just sit still. This don't take long. We'll be right back. Or maybe go out to the refrigerator and get one of those. An article that I just got, and I meant to reiterate a little bit on it. Times must be hard. Americans are buying Spam again. There's nothing short about Spam. I've eaten it, and a lot of other servicemen have eaten it. There it is. If you haven't tried it, it's not a bad product. Now, it costs about $2.40 a can. It's 12-ounce tin, and it's got the usual. In Second World War, it helped keep a lot of people happy. And the history of it is very simple. In 1936, J.C. Hormel developed a spicy ham and pork luncheon meat. In 1959, 1 billion cans of Spam were sold, enough to go around the world twice. In 1970, Spam became the food icon, and after the Monty Python sketch on broadcast, it became a real deal. 1991, official Spam Museum opened in Austin, Minnesota. The museum attracts more than 60,000 people annually. Spam Life is introduced. Now, year 2002, the 6 billionth can is sold, and in 2006, there was a stinky French garlic Spam was introduced to celebrate Spamalot, a musical in London, I'm told. This came from a friend of mine in the UK, and he attaches to it, Bill, good luck. I don't know if you've had any Spam lately, but we have, and it's darn good. Keep up the work. You got to try Spam. WKRP-TV, or .TV I should say, Bill Boshears in the Block Building on the 8th floor in the Plummet Mall. Tonight, let's go back to the people here. Let's go to Dave, Don, and Dave again. Dave 1, you're on the air. Go ahead.
How you doing this evening, Bill?
Doing well, sir. Glad to have you aboard.
You asked earlier what our opinion is and what we would do as far as the economy is concerned.
Yeah.
I'm inclined by this proposal by this representative from Texas, this Louis Gohmert.
I've not. Go ahead, reiterate. Tell me about it.
Okay, Louis Gohmert is a Republican representative in Texas.
Yes.
He's proposing, instead of wasting the remaining bailout money, to go ahead and give it to the American people.
I said I've been saying that for 2 weeks.
2 months of a tax holiday, so if you are a working American, you do not have to pay any federal or FICA taxes for 2 months.
I think that's neat. I think that's a damn... And by the way, I don't think you should pay any income tax, period, for the next couple of years. Let the rest of... unless you want to, and you work in Washington and feel honored to, go ahead. I don't. I think it's a waste of time and certainly of money. I'll just ask you this. What have they done for you lately?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's exactly why they are what they are. Dave, thank you a bunch. I appreciate your call, sir. Thank you. Let's go to Don. Don, you're on the air.
Good evening, Bill.
Glad to have you, sir.
I got a question for you, then I want to kind of say something on top of that, if I may. I've been watching the past couple of days how Congress, their committee, has been drilling the big three, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now, let me ask you this. Whether they're in the right or wrong, I don't know. Anymore, I don't care. I'm fed up like the rest of the people. Why aren't they drilling the bankers up there?
Why don't they what?
Why aren't they have the bankers before them? Why aren't they drilling them?
Well, they would have to explain their not having control over derivatives and not having any vigil or any control over the hedge funds that caused all of this.
Exactly.
And if you and there's so many of them, how in the hell are you going to prosecute them?
So what you're saying,
they won't. So you and I should. And here's what we should do: decide what bankers have got the most to lose, and make sure you don't do business with them.
Exactly.
Now you can say, Bill, that's not a fair thing to say. It's not the banker's fault. Well, let me ask you this: who twisted the banker's arm and made them invest in useless derivatives?
Exactly.
Who did that?
Yeah.
It was greed and mistrust that got so bad that they wouldn't even loan money to each other
well,
because
you've
they knew how crooked the other one was.
if you've noticed since the Reagan era, most of those people are gone now.
Oh, yeah.
And they're living in luxury and they're overseas. All I can hope and pray for is next summer, I hope, I think you might agree on it, just hope it's not a hot summer, because people are that hostile right now.
It's bad. It really is bad. I hope there's a cooling off time and we get a chance to really get this thing under control.
I do too.
And I'm going to tell you something. It's going to take somebody with a hell of a lot more experience than Obama's got to contain this.
I agree, because I'm telling you, when mom and dad can't put food on the table for the kids, and it's 100 degrees outside for better than a month, people, the tension is going to be high.
I'll tell you what, you're going to look next year, you're going to see the envelopment of the real depression when it gets here.
Yep, it's already here.
It's here, but we haven't seen the results of it. See, my advice to people is get all the cash you can and keep it as safe as you can, as close to you as you can.
I agree.
Take care, my friend.
Have a good one, bud.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's go to, well, this thing has stopped, I guess. Let's do this. I guess he's gone. Don is gone, so we'll drop Don. Let's go to Dave. Whoops. Hello, Dave. Are you there, sir?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I hope. What's going on with you?
You can feel the tension out there, just like everywhere you go, man. I mean, it just doesn't matter. But I really wanted to call, and I think that the Mexican drug cartels are in charge of the border, man. There's a war going on that border right now. They're finding headless bodies everywhere down there, and it would stand in their way to allow anything through that border that would harm their piggy bank, because, I mean, we're keeping them, going down there. So I think there's some kind of agreement with, the American government and the Mexican drug cartels.
I have to agree with you.
Kind of keep our border safe, so we don't have to worry about that. But you say cash is king. I mean, cash is king?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. That is one thing I wanted to get your opinion on. What would be king in this?
Well, I think it's cash. I think I wouldn't put it in a bank. If I did, I'd put it into low, even though they're low yield, I'd put it into treasuries, securities.
No, I just mean, if you was going to have cash or gold. I mean, gold, whole gold, or whole cash.
Wait a minute. Who knows anything about gold? Gold is I hear that all the time.
I just don't know what to do.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it in my pocket.
Yes,
it's called cash. That's all I've got. I don't need stocks, bonds, hedge funds, 401ks, something that somebody can screw with and screw it up and cost me money. That's why I don't trust bankers and stockbrokers. How's that?
As long as you can hold it in your hand, right?
You got it, brother. That's where the real cash is.
Thank you. Well, you talk to somebody else, brother. We'll take no more of your time.
You got it, my friend. Take care. Stay safe.
You too, friend.
We'll take a pause in the action and come right back after this, I think. I'm up here on the 8th floor. My nose, my ears popping. I came up the elevator tonight. Bill Boshier is back in the Scizone with you tonight till 12 o'clock this week. If you need to go to our website and log on there to win some tickets. The Day the Earth Stood Still. I can't wait. And I saw the original version. This is a remake of it. And it is Thursday, December the 11th at 7:30 at the Springdale Cinema. We'd love to see you, and we've got some tickets if you want to jump in now and register. By George, that's the way to do it. I'll see you there. We'll have some fun. There's a one line open at 513-381-3838. Jump in if you'd like to. We'd love to hear from you. Let's go to Diane, I guess. Diane, you there? Hi. I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm just doing great. You look great in your new studio, too.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you.
Listen, I want to know what this country is going to do for the good people in this country that has worked so hard all their lives. And we're not getting any kind of assistance, but when we've been flat on our back and we've asked, we've been turned away. But if you're illegal, if you've committed a crime, if you're an alcoholic or a drug addict, you can get anything you possibly can dream of in this country. And that I can't figure out.
Diane, there's something wrong with that picture, I think.
Oh, it's definite. And when I have stood up in courts and have said this, and judges have literally looked at me and told me to hold my mouth, or they would hold me in contempt.
Oh, yeah.
And I've told them, please hold me in contempt, throw me in jail. I'll even get a complete education. I mean, I don't understand what's going down.
Well,
but I do know that all of us are angry.
Bleeding heart liberals in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
We've got wolves now in sheep's clothing, and we're about ready to get one of them out, who's in the White House, who the other night in an interview, you know what his big deal was? He kind of looked perplexed, and they asked him the one thing, and then he wished it had been different about his administration. He says, well, I wish the intel would have been different. I wish it would have been more reliable.
Yeah.
What a moron.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot believe. I'm fearful of what he's going to do before he even gets out.
Well, I don't want to pay too much attention because he has a tendency and I'm not sure that what we're getting is going to be better. He has put everybody from other parties right into his group, and they're the ones that got the Clintons in, the Bushes in, the fixes in.
Yeah.
It's going to be same old, same old.
Yeah.
Whatever it was under Bush Daddy, Jr., Clinton,
all of them.
All of them. It's going to be the same thing. You've got the same people in there.
Yeah, it's a complete repeat. It's just that there's nothing that we can do about it, and that's what's upsetting.
Well,
all.
you know, we desire change, and if we, work together, we can get change, and everybody will get around the campfire and hold hands and sing Kumbaya, or I don't know. I guess that's what we're supposed to do.
I think all of us we've all just have got to stand up and say we've had enough.
I think we have.
Either you do it right or get out of office. All of you, all Congress, all these judges, all this bull crap. It's just unbelievable to me. You have a great night, Bill.
Thank you. Appreciate it. The number 381-513-381-3838. The reason I am fighting and having such a hard time accepting all of this giveaway money is that there are some things that are not right. If you went into a bank and tried to get a loan using the analogy that here I am, you wouldn't get it. And by the way, do you know anybody that's got a loan in the past couple of weeks? You know anybody that's maybe got a car loan in the past couple of weeks? Unbelievable. There's little, if any, due diligence. They're just passing out money. Want some? Here. You need some? Here. And you and I are sitting here going, wait. What do you know about him? Do you realize the money that they bought in stock from, I forget what it was now, one of the companies that they bought the stock? Remember, they were buying stock. Well, that stock has already lost 50%. I don't want stock. I don't want any stock in them damn companies. I don't want to own it. If I wanted to buy stock, I'd have bought some. I don't want any. I don't want this country to have it because it's no good. Why is it no good? Because they don't care. If the people in power in these corporations, we don't have a democracy and we don't have we don't have any kind of state mechanism now. We've got a plutocracy, something that's owned by corporations. And we have to supply them with bodies to work and give them money when they go broke. And they're taking everything they can get. And that's the way it works. Let's go to John. He's on there. John, you're there, sir.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air, sir.
Oh, okay. What it is, I was listening to you, and look to me, what I've been scared about this bailout or the money that they got together for it is that they pushed it through so doggone fast. I think they're just finding another way, what they call committing money atrocities by stealing it. I think that's all they're doing, is just using it for another form of stealing the money before it even gets to the point to helping people.
I don't think that you're absolutely right. I think the AIG insurance company went in there and before they get back to the office, they had their hand out again.
Exactly.
And I'm tired of that. I want this over with, done.
Right.
Now, damn it, nobody's really figured this out. We don't have any jobs. And Obama says, well, I'm going to put people to work fixing the road.
Okay, now how's that going to work?
The same way, none of it will work. Let me tell you why. He's going to give it to local contractors.
Right, and that's been
I don't know. Let me ask you this question. Have you been on 275?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are you aware that they've just repaved, resurfaced?
Right.
Have you noticed how you jump up and down in the car as you go over that road?
Right.
That's the biggest joke in town.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
They do so much and they don't complete nothing.
I'm telling you, if you had a wife and she was expecting a baby, that'd be the place to take her. That car just goes just like this, man, down the highway. Am I lying?
No, you know you're not.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. You people need to go out tomorrow. You don't have to go fast. Just drive over 275. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Go drive 275 and your car will just jump up and down like this.
Exactly, and they're also doing spot.
Oh yeah, it's all the way across.
Yeah.
Now, it was better off the way it was. Now, but it looks good, don't it?
No, it doesn't, because what they're doing, it's just spots. And everywhere you go, it's nothing being completed.
Nothing. And but they'll give you a ticket.
Right.
I got a ticket for not having my seatbelt on.
Yeah,
And that's my fault. I now wear my seatbelt thanks to the gentleman who fined me $100 for not having my seatbelt on. And
the speed situation too, they can trap you in that.
I don't begrudge that. What I am begrudging is that our tax dollars they've done something, and the guys who built the highway didn't know how to do it. They filled in the drain holes, but you go like this when you go over one of them.
Right.
You be driving along, you go down in the road like this. Driving along, and it's in the left lane. You be driving down in the hole, and you go. This was just done. How can this be? And you're down in the hole again.
Yeah, they don't call it potholes. They call it road collapse.
Yes. and your car is jumping up and down. I beg you, all of you listening to me, go drive and let me know how wrong I am. I appreciate the call, John. Thank you, sir. Well, a little, Joe. Do you want a commercial break right now before I go? Let's take a commercial break because we got to sell something. I'm Bill Boshears. I'll be right back with your phone call, 513-381-3838. Hurry up, get in. We've got lines open right now. Hurry before somebody gets in here. Hurry up. I'm Bill Boshears. This is the Scizone. I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad I'm here tonight. I'll tell you, it's a little cold where everybody is tonight. I'm sure the weather is going to get to us. It's 28 right now. Saturday was a high of 32, and tomorrow, high of 27, or it's about 28 out there right now. Yeah, 28. Anyway, I don't mean to make fun of 275, but it is kind of a waste of time and money if you think about it. We're still jumping up and down. Anyway, let's go to Steve, Joe, and Anna. Steve, you're on the air, sir. Steve once, Steve twice.
Hi, Bill.
You're there, sir. Go ahead.
I was just wondering, what do you suggest people do when there's no unity among the people who feel the way that we do?
I think you stay tuned to this station. I think you take your lead by staying abreast of it. Make sure that you're out of debt as much as you can to take care of your family and make cash king in your life and forget about the rest of it. There's going to be a lot of belt tightening in the next year and a half, 2 years. And the idea that you've got to be informed. You've got to take action as a group, not just somebody like myself or you've got to really take control of it, and that's where it's at, I think. At least it would be for me. And we'll try to keep you informed, and if anybody decides to do something, join them. Be a part, become active.
Okay.
I would become an independent. If I weren't, I would. And when it come time to vote, I'd vote independent.
Vote independent.
That's the only way. That's the only way you're going to get rid of these yahoos.
Well, how do you find candidates that are decent and honest to run for those?
Then if you can't find one, you become one and you run. I don't care if it's a dog catcher. You become one.
Okay.
You.
All right.
And stay tuned. We'll have more on that.
Okay.
You got it, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to Joe. Joe, you're there, sir.
Yeah, how you doing, Bill?
Doing well.
I do agree about the 275. It's up and down all the way through, man. I agree with you. But I ain't getting back to this economy here. There's one suggestion I suggested. Roll back the cost of living on everything 4 decades, and we'll clear it up real fast. Because all your bills and everything. Go back 4 decades, cost of living and shit, and we'll have a little less money. You see, but your money will be worth a little bit more money.
I think the other thing is that we've got to create jobs.
That too. Well,
I think you and I could create jobs if we wanted to, and unite, and don't become an army. Don't buy Chinese junk. Buy necessities. Buy what you've got to have. I got to run them up against it, Joe. Thank you. Let's go to Anna. You're there, Ann.
Hi. I've been watching for a couple of weeks, and I love your show. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
I would like to know, did you find banks in Cincinnati that you were going to recommend? Because you said you were going to do research on it.
I did. I found a couple, and I'm going to do some more on it. Let me do that before I recommend them, okay?
Oh, hey, thank you.
And I appreciate your call. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
You too. I want you to go tomorrow, if you don't have anything to do and the price of gas is down. It'll be a pleasant day tomorrow. I think you ought to go out and drive 275. Just as a way to go. I just think it's a marvelous idea. Next Saturday night, we'll be right here in the Scizone. Don't forget, log on to the website and get your tickets.